Matthew Goodrich, a 70 in the Remnant Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I'd like to share with you an experience that I had that I call the parable of the quarter. Now, I was preparing for a class, and I was trying to think of some of the things I wanted to teach in this class, and the Lord gave me this. And this quarter, when I hold it in my hand, I like to say it represents Zion. Everything about Zion. How Zion comes about, and what Zion is, and everything that goes with Zion that is within this quarter that I hold in my hand. Now, we all familiar with the quarter. It's a U.S. quarter. On the front, we have George Washington. We know that George Washington was the very first president of the United States. He was the founder of the nation. He was what we call the father of the nation. And he had much to do with the bringing forth of this nation. That's why he's pictured on this quarter, because he is the father of our nation. But if we look at this spiritually, as I was given, this represents Jesus Christ, his Father. And we know that Jesus Christ is the Father of the gospel and the creator of all and the founder of our church, his church. And so that is the parallels between the front of this quarter. It's George Washington, the father of the nation, and Jesus Christ, the father of this gospel and the leader of Zion. But one thing that's on the back of all of these quarters, every one of them, no matter what the back is the word e pluribus unum. And this is a Latin word that means out of many, one. And what better description do we have of Zion? All of us becoming one. And so it represented the states. They put that because it represented the states. All these states that existed at the time became one. And that's why they used that word. But I can't think of a better word that describes Zion. Out of many, one. And we have many different backs of the quarter. We have many different people. We all become one. Now then, we have the front of the quarter, which is called the obverse. And obverse means to turn to. We turn to Jesus Christ. Spiritually, that's what it means. And if you use the word observant, which is another good one, it means to become familiar with. To become familiar with Jesus Christ. Now we turn the quarter over again, and that is the reverse. It's known as the reverse. And the reverse means to turn around. Literally, it means turn around. If you're driving your car and you want to go another direction, you reverse direction. And so that's what it fits with Zion. We have to change our direction and turn towards him. Now then, we have the front of the quarter again, which I call the spiritual. The front of the quarter equals the spiritual. And we know that we have to have spirituality for Zion to come. We have to be in tune with him. We have to be sanctified. And that's what the spiritual stands for. It's our spiritual preparation to come to Zion. So we have to become sanctified, and it represents, this front of the quarter represents all of the spiritual preparation that we may have to make to be there. The reverse, we have the back of the quarter, which is the reverse, and the reverse stands for the temporal. It stands for all the temporal preparation that we have to make. Now, Frederick M. Smith talked about all the things that we had to do, or stewardships as he called them, that we have to meet for Zion to be. And so not only do we have to be prepared spiritually, but we have to be prepared temporally to be in Zion. Now, just like I'm holding this quarter in my hand, they both exist there. They both exist. And they both have to exist in our preparation. As I hold this quarter in my hand, we have both the spiritual and the temporal here. And it takes both for us to be prepared to go to Zion. You can't have one without the other. And so that's how this represents our preparation for Zion. Now, another thing I like to do that was interesting, we know we always take the quarter and we want to flip it if we make a decision. And we say, okay, if it's heads, we're going to do this. If it's tails, we're going to do this. And I thought, how interesting would it be if we made all our decisions with God, with Jesus Christ in mind, and let Him help us make our minds. Another thing, if you cut this quarter in half, it would be worthless. If you went to spend this quarter and the quarter is not all there, they would not accept it. It's just like Zion. If it's not all there, God cannot accept it. It all has to be there to be accepted. To have this quarter, we work for this quarter. Now, back when this quarters first came out, you had to work harder to get a quarter. But now, we don't have to work as hard. But we do get the quarter from working. We have to earn this quarter to have this quarter. It's the same with Zion. We have to earn it to be in Zion. Now, what I call the ultimate meaning of the coin. I had all this parable had given me, and several days later, he gave me this. And I call it the ultimate purpose. And that purpose is so that we, me, you, us, can be one with Jesus Christ. And that's the main reason for Zion, so that we can become one with Him. Because that's why we exist here, to come back in His presence. And I believe that's one of the purposes of Zion, is to bring that condition about. And I always like to end this sequence with saying, I bet you never look at a quarter the same way again. I know I never have.